Welcome to another Fleet Friday. It's an exciting week. We're wrapping up the fourth mission, and we're going to return and use some of the things that we've learned over the last few missions to really engage more deeply in the first mission we looked at, the search and rescue mission. So let's get into it. Let's go back to our mission headquarters and remind ourselves about the competition that's wrapping up in just 5 hours. We really enjoyed the combat operations. That's still there for you. We enjoyed some supply and logistics. I even got a third place finish, I think. And now we've got a heavy seas operations. So if you remember, we have two hull designs here, and we are going to go big for the first one today. While this is getting loaded up, one thing I wanted to highlight in the upper corner, instead of our normal Fleet screen where we show off how to download Fleet, which is free and everyone can use to do STEM at home and have fun and play video games. There's also a sheet towards the bottom that's for search and rescue mission plans, okay? And so we're going to be thinking more about the engineering design process at each step of the game today. We're going to identify what we need to work on. We're going to formulate a plan. We're going to improve it. All right, so let's get into this mission. So this was the final boat we ended up with last time. We are going to trash this whole ship and start over. And so we have $2 million, which is like so many dollars, but not enough dollars. Just not enough for all the things that we want to do. Since we're starting, oh no, which mission am I in? I need to go back to headquarters. We will start in the correct mission. Now we got it. And we are going to be good to go. I'm going to hit escape, which allows us to quickly go through screens. I am trashing ship again, and we are starting over. And now we are selecting the cargo hull. So we will use this later today. Well, this is a good time to explore the cargo hull. And again, with this hull, it's so skinny. But it's skinny because it's adaptable. We've only gone 1 or 10. So let's choose an interesting 8. See if 8's any better than 1 or 10 as we maneuver this ship. Now we will add in bow, bulbous bow, bulbous bow. We will look at said bulbous bow. Oh no, it's hard to see. But what engineers found out over time is by adding this bulbous spot here, it creates a better wake, which reduces the friction on the side and creates a faster experience for the ship. So this was not something that was commonly used before. Engineers started using more science and more modeling to understand different ways to affect how ships operate in the ocean. Pretty little interesting spot down there. Definitely looks weird, but important. And then we only have our one stern. We have our good long stern at the end. Tapers off back there, which is nice. So now I've done one thing. It's good. It's good to do one thing in the morning, right? Try to accomplish one thing. I still got a lot of money. I got $1,765,000 to spend. So let us spend it. And let us spend it first on the most important thing I think. You may choose differently. The turbocharged diesel engine. So we will put that, and that was in the exact center, even though it kind of looked at the top. And we can see that by clicking on our engine, and it'll kind of show us where it is in the ship. Where are you, engine? Oh, it's in the middle there, right there. Excellent. So now let us go in and add some propellers. Ooh, let's wait on this because there's a cost difference here, right? So I'm identifying in this mission, our mission is to go and rescue 3 underwater robots. And we have to get there quick, and then we have to drive appropriately close to them. We have to have good control over our ship. So I think the engine's the most important part, but the propeller transfers that energy to our ship. So we really need to make sure that we're getting this ship underway in an appropriately fast speed. And good morning, Robert. It's good to see some friends online already at a good old 9:09 in the morning. All right, so now we need to make a decision here. I'm not ready to make a decision here. Let us go make some other decisions, see if we still have some money. So we're going to go add in the structure of the rudder. And I think we need high turn force. These we're going to be in some heavy rough seas. It's not the most gentle of places, that's for sure. So now we're going to add in a deck house. We have lots of rooms, so we can take the roomy one and we'll put it in the center as well. And so we need to fix our weight before we go out, but we also don't have these checked off yet. So let us get some comms. And we are going to choose this one for brevity, because we know this one does not make our ship fall over in the stability test, and that's the first thing that we've got to go through. And now we're going to also add in AUV retrieval, so we need to bring some cargo with us, and that's this. I don't even know what color that is. Brownish gold. Is there such a thing? I think there is. Alright, and then we also need to bring a rescue boat. And this rescue boat isn't going far or fast, so this is a place where I do suggest saving money. So we are going to put that, we can put it right here. Keep it in the back. So we need to add weight, but that's just ballast tanks. But we have a lot of money, so we can afford the good propellers. It was good to kind of, so we identify that we need to get out there quickly. And we want to do that with as many good tools as possible. And like we've talked about a few times, sometimes a big part of it is engineering the ship, and a big part of it is also engineering the solution. So actually using the ship in a strategic way when we get out there. Look at these good rudders down here. This is nice. Got my propellers going on. It's a good looking ship right now. Now let us fix this weight issue, and we do that again with our ballast tanks. I'm going to add, I'm going to add a lot of water. There's going to be a lot in here, but I'm going to fill out, we can see that these three in the middle are even lower. So I'm going to completely fill them and then see how we stand water-wise. So we are still, well, we're 100,000 less than the target displacement about, but there's a little bit, there's a tolerance here, so we don't have to be exactly at this. But let's fill this up mostly. Yeah, we're going to have to fill these up. Oh, no, that was it. So let's balance that out a little bit, actually. So we'll put this one and this one up front here. You can just barely see it here. We're going to fill them up about the same. So we hit our target displacement without getting too heavy. And so I know there's a wide range of science knowledge that's going on while you're playing this. At some level, everyone knows that heavy things move slower. In the draft last night, we saw the offensive linemen traveled a lot slower than the speedy wide receivers. And if you are in high school, you know that there's equations that express this. So if we have the same force, if we only have one engine that we like, then we need to really reduce the mass, and that will increase our acceleration. So now we're pumping water up safely so we can get out into the ocean, and we need to try the stability test first. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. That is an interesting look at a pass. I feel like that wave must have been unusually strong today, because that is not the best way to look. And let's check out the characteristics again. So I'm just using WASD. You can also use the arrow keys if you like. And I'm making time go twice as fast by clicking this button, because my boat is slow. It is so slow. But it's because it's big. This is one of the bigger boats that we can make in this game. So we are going straight out, trying to get between these buoys as quickly as possible. And it's going to take like over 2 minutes. Well, 2 minutes in game time, right? These seconds are clicking off twice as fast. So this is a place where I will be writing down this data. And I need a pencil. There's not one near me right now. That is an unprepared engineer. So we shall get prepared while we wait for this ship to eventually get to its final destination. What's nice is that it's so big, the waves don't really push it around, so I can be quite the lazy navigator. Alright, 2 pens. And you can see this is the sheet that I'm going to be using to fill out to keep track of things today. So in our formulation for this ship, we spent as much resources as possible on speed, on engine propellers, and that was a really key part of our plan. And now we've created it. We're getting initial test data on it. We're up to 17 knots. The time is more important, but that's another piece of information, right? Just trying to know our max speed. So we got to 239 in the speed test, and I'm just going to write ST, and then we also have a top speed of 17 knots. All right, so let us choose another mission. We're not finished getting information yet. We can choose to see how well it maneuvers. And that's why we got the high turn force rudders, right? So now we should be able to go through this course a little bit more quickly, unless the trade-off that we had is that the high turn force is not the low drag. So maybe the additional drag that we introduce would slow us down. So this would be something, and especially, if you were supposed to stay at home or if it was raining and you had to be inside with the game for a little bit, this is a good time to test out these little things to see how many seconds each one of them contributes. And we may do that as a special little fleet tryout someday soon, where we really investigate this maneuverability test. There is on our YouTube channel and on Twitch a real 30-minute deep dive into how to master the speed test with the cutter, not this hull, with the cutter hull. Woohoo! That is close. Those waves are really rocking me for being a big old ship. All right. So 2 minutes and 7 seconds in maneuverability. Good data to have. Alright, so now let us go back to missions one last time. And we're going to do the whole thing. And so this is the heavy seas. I'm going to hit this button at the beginning, but I'm going to unclick it when I get closer. And we can see these seas, this ship is quite long. We'll check out the stats on it before we finish up. But it's dozens and dozens of meters long, dozens and dozens of yards long, and these waves are equally long, it seems, right? These huge rolling seas are really pushing my ship around. So we're using the radar down here to figure out where we're going. I should probably turn left a little bit. And now we are in range and we see where the AUVs are. So actually I'm going to turn back right so I can line up this first one here straight ahead. And so you can see what I'm doing is I'm steering so that the dot is straight ahead of me, above me, right? So because it's a two-dimensional interface, it looks like it's up, but really it would be a radar that's down like this, and so you'd see that it would be straight ahead of you, and things over here are to the left or the port side, and so we're going to have to take a hard left turn eventually. And it may be good for us to anticipate that turn, because it's a lot easier to turn with these waves than to turn and fight these waves. Alright, so if this is 4,000 meters to the end, we still probably have 2 kilometers to go. And that is quite some distance. So maximizing speed here, this is where it makes me wonder whether the low drag rudders might even be better, that they are able to navigate our ship to the first AUV more quickly. So that's something to consider. It's probably a design choice that we really want to investigate, because as we identify the needs of this mission, we're starting to see that we actually have to travel pretty far, and we want to do it fast, but we need to go, we're going to travel about 4 or 5 minutes under just full power, trying to get out there as quickly as possible. So maybe we need to reevaluate that. That could be something that we improve, or if we get into these saving situations and we need to turn hard and fast, then maybe we made the right decision. But wow, that wave was huge. That was a terrifying wave. It is good to be on a naval ship when when you're seeing these ocean. All right, so now we just saw a little peak over here. You see that right in front of me. And I'm going to overcorrect a little bit because I know I eventually need to turn left. Seems like the waves, I'm running right directly into them, which does not seem like a good thing for my speed, but it's a good idea in the perfect storm, or maybe it wasn't their best idea. So we are turning left a little bit to get this, and I'm probably going to have to slow down pretty soon. Alright. So the key is to, and if you were here last week, you definitely saw someone, it drives too fast, and keeps overshooting these things. So we got to slow down, and we got to slow down at the right time. The issue is that these waves are really hard to get over the top of if we aren't going full speed. But you can see I checked down already, and I'm going way too fast. So I'm turning into it. I'm hoping I slow down. We see the bar there, but oh, I got it! I think I spent like 1/100th of a second less than I did last time. The last time I had to go back with the rescue boat. That is, this is going to be my day. If I lucked out that way, I was too fast. I was going 9 knots at the end. I really didn't have any way to control my ship to get it slower. And you can see, I turned the throttle in full reverse. So all my propellers that were pushing me forward were now trying to push me backwards. But my momentum was so strong, it took a long time for that to engage. So now we got 2 more to pick up, and they're kind of near each other. So it's kind of a slow down real quick thing again. Try to start up again. But they're only separated by what it looks like about 1/10 of the distance from the radius. So like about 400 meters. So it's not that far to go to get the second one, or the third one, I should say. But this next one that we're about to pick up is going to be the make or break thing for time. And I see it on the horizon there. It's a little bit to the right or starboard side of me. And we are getting it lined up because I'd like to keep it on the starboard side so that way I can go straight to the next one. It's still on my port side. And then we'll be done with this mission. And so hopefully you've been able to experiment with some different crafts and really explore this mission. We are going to start building another craft. Wow, that was up to 23 knots. That is moving for this big old ship. 28 knots, 30 knots. This is incredible. I need to slow down a lot. I think that wave was going 32 knots more than my ship was going 32 knots. So like the force of the wave was generating that speed. Oh, that was way too fast. Alright, so I got to get less than 10 knots to go back and pick this thing up. I was too impressed with my speed. Forgot the mission at hand. I'm still going in reverse, but I'm being pushed acceleration. Alright, there we go. Now, let me deploy our ship. And in this game, that's good because it makes the ship actually stop. So it's a little gaming trick, not a real world life experience. But you can see that by overshooting this thing by so much, I have to really go too far with this, and obviously I was not turning right there, but the wave thought I should, and this boat and these waves is not a recipe for success. So and going full speed is also not a recipe for success. Alright, so I need to get just a little bit closer. Oh, where are you? Backwards. So we are going to go backwards and pick this up. Ooh, that is too fast. We got to inch up to it. But again, oof, under the wave picture. That's a pretty good picture right there. Without having a lot of power, a lot of momentum behind me, these waves are just pushing me around so much. And it's not great to run into them, but I don't think I really had another option than to create a collision, which will not be great for the ship or for me setting a new high score. Wow, look at that wave moving that big old ship. But I'm kind of running the same speed of the wave, but I need to click this button as quickly as possible because this thing is out of control. Wow, that was close. All right, so we got it, and we used the rescue boat, and I theoretically didn't collide with my ship, even though I was clearly about to run into it. So by being prepared to click this button, I was able to really maximize the ability to not screw this up anymore. All right, so oh no, but my ship drifted so much that I need to turn way left to get this last underwater. There we go. I see you. This is going to end our mission. So we got up to 32 knots, which I'm not sure I've ever seen that speed on this ship before. So that was an incredible moment of fleet history in my eyes. Personal fleet history. How about that? And now we are lining up. And we are still going too fast. So I'm going to check down for... Oh, we'll see. This is going to be tight again. Too much speed. Well, I'm going slower than the first one. Am I lucky, though? I am. All right. So let's look at this ship first. Oh, you know what? We can do that in the logbook. Let's look at that part in the logbook. So in the logbook, it saves our ships, and this is the ship that we were just using, and you can see all the things that are on it. But what I want to see are the properties. So this is the beam length, the displacements, basically our weight, how much water we move out of the way to support it. And if you know Archimedes' principles, you're all over that. And what I want to see is a little bit more. It's got a bit of a lean and a bit of a list, but that's not exactly what I'm looking for. This shows you how where the center of flotation, like where water's pushing up, and where the center of gravity, where gravity's pushing down, and how these line up. The meta center is about how it rocks, and so what we want to do is have it not rock very much. So if this point's too high, it means that it's easy for our ship to be knocked over in the heavy seas, which clearly we do not want. Not seeing the length. So these are meta centers here for different. So this is whether it's going to flip over perfect storm style or whether it's flipping over like left and right, which is obviously a lot more dangerous for these kind of ships. Oh, length. There we go. 67 meters. So 68 meters is... Yeah, so that's about 200 feet of ship, and some of those waves were definitely longer than my ship. That's incredible. But we are here for one purpose, right? High scores. So let us check the high scores of heavy seas operations. That was my best score, I think, or at least it was right around there. And not close. Not close at all to the true high scores. So there's still 4.5 hours to try to get into here so you can have great success in the Fleet Hall of Fame. Alright, so let's bring it back to headquarters and do the mission for this week coming up. So this competition will close, I guess May 1st. I think we're at the end of the month. May 1st, yes. And so we're going to go back to the first mission that we did, but all the scores that we are going to work on are for the worst weather condition. So let's see if we have a ship. We don't have a ship. Alright, so we got to build a ship from the beginning. So, I don't have anything on my ship. That was the button I clicked. I need to add in a hull. And then again, we only have this hull. And this hull we can also use in the previous mission. I just chose not to because I knew we were going to be using it for this one. It's a good looking hull. And now we are going to be adding in the components that we need. We need to go fast, so we're going to use low drag. We are going to be adding in ballast tanks down the road. We'll fill them up later. We also need, we'll put a little water in here just to do that real quick. And now we need to add in some propellers. We're going to use the baseline. We're going to save some money there. We're going to add in a deck house. We'll use the other one today. Or now. We used one before. This is the taller one. So maybe wind hits it more, but it takes us less room on the deck. So there's just some trade-offs there. And then we need to add in some rescue equipment, which is a cargo. Oops. Cargo rescue equipment. And I'm going to put that up front for now. And now we need an engine. And that's going to dramatically change our weight, our displacement here, and be a big driver of our success in this mission. So, last thing whoa, that crane anchor just came right for us. Probably should have moved the camera out of the way. We need to add in a radar tower. And let us use this one initially. And then we'll come back and make a change at the end. So we have not enough weight, but we're under budget. Oh man, that crane is really coming for me now. I guess I'm in the line. It's where it needs to be working. Alright. So last thing, we need to get the weight. And then we have some money extra, but I think we, in our engineering design process, right, in the sheet that is in the upper right corner, I don't think we've identified all the needs and limits. So we have some needs and limits here, but we need to do this mission once to really understand the issues at hand. As you can see, I already added comms in that we usually don't use. I'm already close to budget, and I haven't put on a rescue helicopter or a rescue boat yet. So we need to figure this budget out a little bit more. So as far as formulating a plan, I can't really formulate my best plan at this moment, but I can formulate like an engineering process that will help me answer these questions kind of quickly. So that was a lot of talking. Let's get into filling up these ballast tanks so we can get out and see what it's like to do this mission when the weather is at its worst. And, you know, kind of when shipwrecks are most common, right? Like, sunny day shipwreck does sound like a nice thing for us to solve. Maybe not nice for the people in the water, or, you know, these fictional people. But, so I got my way up to 431,000 kilograms. We're done filling up the water tanks. We can see those dots again here if we want to, and we can see that this ship is about 50 meters long. And so I'm seeing these because I clicked the boat button, and it brings up these charts in this properties table. But let us test. Let us test. So we're ready to take this out, but because we built a new ship, we need to do the stability test. It's kind of leaning to the back a little bit, right? You can see this water, this line here, tends to be has a slope upwards. It's not the best thing, but you can see that's kind of one reason I put this cargo up front. The cargo is not very heavy though. It just is not going to have the impact. So now we are going to choose the storm. So the first time we actually did do foggy weather, but we still had support from the shore. Now we have to use the radar tower, the radar that we were just using, and it locates the shipwreck. But without radar, we aren't going to be successful in this mission. But with radar, now I don't have a boat or a helicopter. I'm going to have to try to save everyone with this ship. That sounds daunting. But let us get there. You can tell I clicked the make time go faster. But we are in the storm, and we are going to go save some people that need some saving. I didn't even bring the pump equipment, so I'm not going to be able to get those extra points for salvaging the ship, for saving the ship. So there's a lot of choices to start investigating. The problem I think that you're seeing with this solution is the budget doesn't really change, but the needs change. And so these comms cost about 15% of the budget, so a little bit more than 1/10. And that's a lot of money to dedicate to a system we really didn't use 4 weeks ago. So now we're going to have to figure out a better way to design these ships so that we can get the mission accomplished, but in these difficult conditions. So now I'm getting close. You can see that dots. Maybe I'm a kilometer away, about a fourth from of the radius. But the cut screen thing is going to happen again. If you remember, if you've done this mission before, kind of gives you a tour of the situation. But that's the only reason I'm not slowing down quite yet. Oh, I should slow down a little bit. This is going fast. Because we we are going to have a similar issue to me driving too fast in the previous mission. All right, so this is what we got to address. So the people are spread out. So my big worry with no rescue boat, rescue helicopter is just running over these people, and that is not good for them or my score. I'm not sure which is more important, but we need to slow down. Whoa, that is still going too fast. Way too fast. Alright, so I'm trying not to hit the person that's in front of here, but I'm not going to save them either. And these swells are big. This is the heavy seas operations combined with the search. And actually, I'm going to go backwards. I don't want to hit that ship if I can help it. And I think there's someone. Ooh, that's too fast backwards. So I'm turning the back of the ship so it's turning while I'm going backwards to where I want to go. It's pulling me along. So I'm going to go forwards now because there's two people in front of me. So I've saved two people. This is somewhat miraculous. I thought for sure I would not be able to save these humans as quickly as this is happening. I didn't get the person on the left, but I'm going to try and get. Oh no! I'm running him over. That is a lot of problem. That was bound to happen, I guess. But that is frustrating, and not really good for the outcomes I was hoping for. So I do think, at least for me, and when I execute this strategy, I am terrible at driving this big old ship. So I need to get some rescue equipment on here no matter what. Which might mean I have to sacrifice my Oh no, you're right there! I must have run you over. I didn't even know that guy was there. He just snuck up on me. Maybe he swam over to help me out. I don't think so, but it'd be nice to think that. Alright, so let's unclick that. So now we are going to slowly but surely save the last person right here. So I'm going full steam. That's probably a bad idea. Let's go a little bit of steam. And I think this is going to be okay. Kind of got the waves pushing me in the direction, but I'm far enough away that I don't think I'll hit them. And I just need to get enough speed up so that I can get him to the part of the ship that does the saving. Oh, there we go. And we are done. It's not bad. But that was a lot. Yeah. So I thought not bad. The time is not bad. The score is awful, right? If you've done this, you know this score is ridiculously poor. And it's because I crushed that person the first time. I ran him over 14 times. He just kept banging in the front of the boat. So my score is appropriate. I did a bad job, and I need to fix this ship. And so we have bare bones here, but we have little money. Let's take this off and start the mission and see what information we get if we didn't have a radar tower. So we're not going to do this full mission. We're going to escape out of it. But I just want to show what it's like to do this mission if we didn't bring radar with us. So we got to do the stability test again because we've changed the weight and distribution of our ship. And now let us get back into checking Storm and doing the Stormy environment. Alright, so now I'm trying to head out. Oh, it does give me a little bit of information. Maybe I don't need that radar tower as much as I thought. So it's really nice to have that radar information. But if someone's going to help me get directions there, maybe we can get over there. Let us try this out. And if you remember, if you saw real quick before I left the dry dock, when I deleted that thing off the top, the radar tower, I got a lot of money back. Started to put the helicopter back into play. Started to put the rescue boats back into play. In the salvage equipment, which I don't have on here. So if I'm able to get there, and so I was thinking I was gonna have to escape out of this, but if I can get to the shipwreck, if it keeps updating me like this, so oh whoops, that was going the wrong way. I need to go 280. I was going to 260, 240, something like that. I got to go up to 290 now. So I took a hard right. But if it gives me enough information to get to the shipwreck, I don't think we're going to save the people again. No one needs to watch me run over someone 14 times again. But if we're successful in getting this ship to the shipwreck, then it changes the parameters, it changes the requirements, it changes how we identify the needs a little bit. So we needed the radar tower and the heavy seas mission, which wraps up in almost 4 hours. But for heavy seas, these stormy conditions, our ship-to-shore communication is helping us out enough that we do not need it for the stormy heavy seas that we're experiencing right now. Well, I already overcompensated a little bit for that redirection. So we are getting close. I think we really don't know without the radar tower. Oh, we are. Look at those green people out there. So yes, I can get there. I'm hitting escape now. So if you ever need to exit a mission, and this may happen especially in the maneuverability test, where if you miss one buoy, you really have to start again. You could also restart a mission if you want to restart with the ship that you have now. We want to exit and fix this ship so that we can really put down a good time. So in a lot of ways, we drive blind. We'll never see this thing in sight. But if we keep a good eye on the information that they show in that corner, then we'll be able to be successful. So I think we're going to go helicopter if we can afford it. We got a lot of money. I'm going to first add salvage equipment, pump equipment here, because I do want to save the ship. And then I want to also add in helo deck, helicopter landing pad. Put that on the back, and then also add in helicopter. Maybe we do use the good one. We got some money right now. Oh, not enough. Not quite enough. Oh, so if I hit delete now, I delete the whole ship. But if I click on the helicopter, I'll delete the helicopter. So I could use that if I didn't want to bring in the salvage equipment, the pump equipment. And you can see the big difference here is I'm only able to hold 2 here. You're able to hold more with the yellow helicopter. So let us take this ship out. And we are going to test this one more time. I'm going to record that data. Speed test, maneuverability test. One final stormy search and rescue test. And then I'll turn this back over to you. So you'll set these high scores. So again, the heavy seas operations, what we're wrapping up today, Friday, the 24th. If you're looking at this later, on May 1st at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, we'll wrap up a competition for search and rescue in Storm. But let us first test our ship. So I'm immediately hitting W. I'm immediately hitting up. And I'm making speed go faster because these things aren't the most exciting part of the game. But I have my data from my last speed test, and I want to compare it. So, talking engineering design process, we diagrammed our plan. I know from experience with this game that I'm better with the helicopter than the rescue boat, and I was glad that I could afford it, and that's why I made that choice. And but the key part is I'm still spending all my money that I can on speed, because getting to the rescue is like 40% of the battle, and probably like 30% of the battle saving the people in the ship, and 30% of the battle is not running over, not colliding with anything while you're in that dangerous situation. So we are coming in at a healthy 1 minute and 47 seconds. That is a full 52 seconds faster than the last time we did the speed test. So let us do one more test. We're going to test the maneuverability. We can also do rescue practice, but and I would strongly encourage you to do that if you're new to this game. But if you're used to saving people, particularly with the helicopter, it doesn't add a lot of information actually about the ship, because there's so much variance. It could take 2 minutes or it could take 3 minutes. Whereas you could tell, like, if I ran this maneuverability test, sometimes I might be 3 seconds faster, sometimes I might be 3 seconds slower, but it's pretty true to the score that to this time it'll take me to get through this thing every time. So, get through this maneuverability test every time. So we're getting in there pretty quick. Last time I did the maneuverability test, I did it in 1 minute 47 seconds. So I think you're seeing that the speed of this lighter haul, this shorter haul, is really impressive. Oh no, actually last time my notes taking was not right. I did 147 the speed test just right ago. I did the maneuverability test with the large ship in 2 minutes and 7 seconds. So we improved our time by a good 41 seconds. That is not bad. Alright, so let us go to missions one last time. And for one last time, we will check the storm. And we will go to completion and see where the leaderboard stands. So, we are going straight out. We need to go 320. That is a hard right turn. That is not very good for my score, though. Well, maybe. So we saw earlier today, if the waves are pushing me, if they're pushing with me, that is good for my score. Good for my top speed. If they aren't, especially in these stormy conditions, it's going to take me significantly more time to get there. I don't have a good rule of thumb, but I feel like 20 to 30 seconds is right. And, half a minute is just a huge difference. Woo! I'm definitely going into these waves. That was tremendous. But a half a minute's a tremendous amount of points. And it's kind of determined more by the direction of the waves than by the skill or the design of the ship. And that's just kind of how these adverse conditions work. The world is not a perfect playground. We got, whoa, definitely. That wave was probably like 40 feet tall. But it's a good thing we got these strong naval ships out there to come over top of these swells. This is incredible. This is a good time to be indoors. And you can tell it's redirecting my ship pretty dramatically. I'm 20 degrees off the right line. And so if I had the radar tower, I would know this information all the time, right? So there is a benefit there. I'm choosing and identifying my needs. My needs is that I need a better solution than saving people with the large ship. And we're already at these people. So, I can see these people here. I'm going to start slowing down a little bit. And we're at 342. I just kind of feel like for my mission and identifying ways to improve, there's going to be a lot of strategy I need to improve. I got to go check. I think I have some money left in the bank, so maybe increasing a propeller, spending a little bit more money on that. But I think I'm very comfortable with this type of solution for me. I can consider whether I need to rearrange things on the deck to better distribute the weight. So maybe I get through, but then I want to check the speed test a lot to see if I'm actually increasing the speed. All right, so we got, wow, they're really spread out. So I think I'm going to try to pick up these two first on the outside. Where's my ship? So everyone's to the right? Wow, that can got a real close up. Um, or barrel. Yeah, I gotta slow down immediately. All right, so we're slowing down. Oh, that was responsive. I guess because these waves are also slowing me down. I'm gonna try and keep these two people on the left, on my left, and then come in and save the. Oh no, I gotta get close to the ship, save these two people, take the helicopter out. I think that's the way. So I'm turning the view angle because I want to save this ship as soon and slow down and turn right. And so I'm saving the ship. I'm about to go backwards, but I don't want to hit that ship. Yeah, I think helicopter is the best way for me to go right now. So I might be able to save these two people, but I definitely won't be able to turn and get these people. So let me save them first. So that was not the plan I had hoped for when I saw the arrangement of people. And you can kind of tell I've got 5 people to save and I can only hold 2. And having an odd number to save makes a more, makes one more trip, which is definitely way detrimental to the time. So we're already at 7 minutes. I have saved the ship and 2 people now. There's a lot more work to be done, right? So we really need to find a little bit better of a way. I really need to find a way to save the ship and 1 person at least, and ideally 3 people. With save their ship with my ship, because now I'm gonna try and go pick up 1 person. Let's see if we can get underway and turning right. Because the prospect of 2 more of those helicopter trips sounds challenging for a good score. So I'm trying not to run them over. I'm turning right. I'm slowing down. I got 1. I got 2. I might be able to speed up and get this guy in my ship. Taking off and landing with the helicopter isn't the worst thing, but it seemed like an opportunity. And I got it! Wow, that is incredible. It is my day. That is 2 things that usually do not work well. Alright, so collisions, 0. Really key and really difficult. You can see these waves are still pushing my ship around. Watch the bow come out of the water. We don't have the bulbous bow in the cutter hull form, but it's coming completely out of the water, and occasionally you're seeing the back of the ship also come out of the water. We can see the rudders and the propellers that we chose. Just incredible, the size of these waves. So let us go to logbook and check on the scores here. So this is again the ship. This is my components. I have my sea trial scores, so it records the best times I've had in those. Alright, so now let us check search and rescue. We want to change the weather to storm and look at the leaderboard. So again, you unclick the filter by player organization, and we see that there's some high scores. You're going to have to do some work this week. So right now we've got scores up to 2,887. I came in at a healthy 13th. Not as good as D Perea, but trying to get up to that level. And this is the challenge. So let's go back one last time so we can see in the search and rescue. We are supposed to find the fishing boat and recover the mariners. We need to do a perfect rescue to get the highest score. No collisions. We are going to get a score bump if we can get it done in 6 minutes. So I think that's the real challenge. you're going to have to really move to get there quick, right? And we did salvage the fishing boat. So if you bring that pump equipment, then you can achieve all the achievements here. And then, so when we go back to the dry dock, we'll see one last time that our standard 5 things that we need the hull, the propeller, the engine, the rudders, and the deck house. Our weight. Maybe this is the mission where we need a heavier weight. I've been always going light on this weight when we've been doing these Twitch broadcasts. Definitely something for you to investigate, because when you identify your need as going quickly to the shipwreck, an improvement could be a heavier ship gets through the waves better. It's something that you'll need to investigate. For this mission, we need to add rescue equipment, and we have a budget. This solution that we explored right now has $39,450 left over. So maybe there's a spot where we can see something on our ship. We can look at these different components that we put on there and find a place where we can spend a little bit more money and gives a little bit more advantage. It's a difficult mission, so if we have some money that will help us get there, let us use it. So just one last time, we use this engineering design process to identify needs, formulate plans, and improve. There's another way that we can think about this. So identify could also be ask a question. Formulate, an easier word is imagine. But this little box down here allows us to do some testing data. And that was on the bottom of my sheet as well. And then every time we finish a test, we want to think about what we can improve. It could be the ship design. It could be how we use the ship. But we need to get it as strong as possible to set these high scores. So good luck. I will see some of you at 2 p.m. for our awards ceremony at fleetengineers.org. Feel free to download